to the backside, get you all going, because that is absolutely huge. Because I think, man, powerful, powerful, powerful. So we're in a transition now. We understand kind of your base and who you are, your roots, kind of where you came from. So look, those of you who are watching on live stream and those of you who are watching later on the recorded on this, I mean, look, you're a big man, right? You played football. You've done a big thing. I mean, you played rugby. I got a couple of kids who play rugby and they love it. So please take us through this journey of why toilet seats. I know it's probably a question that people, you say this is what I do, and people look at you like, okay, I know you're probably joking, right? But take us through this. Why toilet seats?
Yeah. So one day I was sitting at my desk. My past life, my career started in government. Mm-hmm. My last job was as an elected official in the state of Idaho. And I was there for a term and a half, and I was sitting at my desk, and I'm a guy with just ideas, and I write these ideas down. I have pages and pages and pages of ideas. And one day I was sitting at my desk, and I had done so much for my community. I was like, I can't just sit here and just milk this job anymore. I've done as much as I could do. I've changed tons here, changed people's lives here, but this isn't the last thing for me. I can't just sit here and retire and wait till I'm 65. There's more to my life than doing this. And I went back through my list, and I found this idea that I had for toilet seats with I had this idea. Me and my son were at the Salt Lake City airport. He was 4 at the time. We wait in line, walk into a stall, and some guy had sprinkled all over the seat. I put down the toilet covers and I try to put him on the seat, and he starts screaming. He doesn't want to sit on the seat. He's 4. He has to sit. So I had to go grab some paper towels and soap and clean the seat for my son to sit down. So I had a screaming kid, and now I have a kid who's smiling, taking a deuce, right?
Right.
So I had this idea about the seat, and I was like, you know what? Nobody has brought any innovation to the toilet seat in years. I did all this research about it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take this idea and run with it. I've always had side hustles, businesses. Me and my wife own 3 businesses on the side, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna invent this product and go for it. So it really wasn't a toilet seat. It was me taking the risk and becoming an entrepreneur. It's me taking a risk and saying, you know what, let me create this product from scratch and become an inventor, an official inventor by the USPTO. Let me sell this thing and sell the company, right? Because it doesn't stop with the toilet seat. Then when I sell this company, I go on to the next 5 ideas that I have that I want to launch now. So really, the toilet seat was, no one has brought any innovation to the toilet seat in years. And I have this one-of-a-kind idea and product that no one could ever compete with. But the most important part is I wanted to become an entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur, not this guy that always had side hustles. The guy that says, no, this is my startup and this is what I do full time now, and to bet on myself. So man, that's how I came up with the toilet seats.
Okay, you said something very profound there, and I want to get more in depth. You said it's not about the toilet seat; it's about becoming an entrepreneur. But more importantly, is this job or this business, you'll sell it, and it'll allow you to propel you or push you towards those other 5 ideas that you want to get launched. Take us through that process, because I think as entrepreneurs and people who've started business, I've started a few, is we're so ingrained and focused in this business, right? We got to get this business going and going. But a true entrepreneur says this business is going to be the gateway to this next business, which will be the gateway to this next business, which will eventually be what I really want to do is this. So take us through that mindset. How did you section that off and say, this business is going to get me to this business, and not take it as this business, I just got to just grind this business out?
Yeah. I'm not a lifer in this deal. It's not like I want to be a toilet seat salesman for the rest of my life. But I always tell people this door opens the next. This door, whatever I do with this company, however good or bad, if I fail or succeed, opens the next door. If I sell this company for millions and millions of dollars, somebody will come up and say, Rob, did you hear what Rob did with this toilet seat company? Sold it for 100 mil. Give him this opportunity, right? If I fail, right, then no, everyone's going to see that, oh, Rob took investor money, failed with this company, blah, 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 blah. So I'm on a mission. There's a plan A. There's no plan B. There's plan A is to make this win. So I've always been with ideas and with the next step in my life, planning from step A to step C, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Always, because, especially in government, when I was just a peon, I just had a regular government job, I wanted my boss's job. And I knew that when my boss retired or something happened, I say, I'm going to have that job in 2 or 3 years. And I did. And I repeated that cycle 4 times until I was an elected official. Same thing with becoming an entrepreneur. I learned that, listen, I sell this company. I do really well with this company. I'm an official inventor now. The door for me, the multiple doors that it opens for me when I'm selling off this company, the opportunities are unlimited. So always planning that next step out, or even from A to C. And I have tons and tons of more ideas. It's not like I'm stuck with this toilet seat idea. Yeah.
Man. So what I gather from all that is like your circle of influence, when Washie becomes huge and you sell it, that circle of influence is just going to exponentially grow. Like you said, Grant Cardone always talks about that 10x, right? That is just going to explode for you, which, man, what a mindset, what a training. I mean, that's a $50,000 training right there. So those of you who are taking notes, by all means, listen to what he just said about his process of, nobody wants to be known as the toilet seat salesman for the rest of their life, but it is this door opens another door to open another door to open another door. So I want to talk about one of the doors that were closed in your face. You got all excited to go do it, and then it just boom, just shut. So walk us through, one, how Shark Tank came about, how you were able to, even get on and close to it. And then 2, talk about when it shut, what happened. Take us through that whole process of the whole Shark Tank.
Yeah. Cameron, if your followers or anybody watching, I wrote this article. The title is Shark Tank Will Make Me a Millionaire, but I didn't even make the show. Right?
It's a great article. Go read it. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So what happened? I go to, in 2018, in the summer of 2018, I go to auditions for Shark Tank, and it's in the Venetian Hotel during CES, Consumer Electronics Show, biggest electronic show. There are like thousands and thousands of people there. I drive from Pocatello to Boise to pick up a prototype, drive from Boise to Vegas in one night to make the auditions. And when I get there just in time. I have a toilet seat and a toilet bowl in the back of my car. And I sit in the driver's seat, and I'm like, you know what? Am I really going to push this toilet bowl in the middle of it, the Venetian Hotel in the middle of CES? I was going to be embarrassed. This was my first step into taking the leap, the real leap of letting people know that I was selling a toilet seat, not the sexiest thing. And you know what? I drove that far. I was like, get out the car and do it. So I pushed the toilet seat and the toilet bowl into the Venetian Hotel, past security, thousands and thousands of people there. And I got the opposite reaction. Instead of being embarrassed, hundreds and hundreds of people, I'm not joking, hundreds of people came up to me and say, what is that? What is that thing? What are you doing? They wanted to know what I invented. And I got so much attention that when I got in front of the sharks, they loved it. I mean, not the sharks, the producers. I went to the casting producers. I got in front of them, they loved it. And so out of 42,000 companies that year, I made it down to 90. And I went through the cycle. And before I went on the show, I had lied on my application. I said that I wasn't an elected official, and they found out. I didn't think I was going to make it that far. And they said,
Right.
"Oh, either quit your job or you can't come on the show." So I made a decision. I thought I was at that point in time, I thought I was going to be this instant millionaire,
Yeah.
going on the show. And I quit my job. And then 2 weeks before going on the show, they cut me. They're like, "Rob, sorry, it's reality TV. We found another company. They have revenue. We'll keep in touch with you though. Next year, we'll keep in touch with you." And that was the first punch in the gut that I ever received from being an entrepreneur. I had quit my job, had a family of 5 at the time, no salary, no benefits anymore, no health care. And I thought I was going on Shark Tank and had nothing. So that is the story of Shark Tank. They still keep in touch with me every year and they check in, but I don't need them anymore. I don't like going through that process. I don't even go through the process anymore. But yeah, man, it was the first punch in the gut that I received on this journey.
Dang. Hold on. So you're saying is out of 42,000 companies, you made the top 90. You were
Yeah.
like, hey, we want you on.
Yeah.
So that's number one. So you sat in a car saying, am I really going to do this? I'm going to be made fun of. People are going to laugh at me. But the opposite happened. And there were hundreds of people coming up going, what is that? What did you invent? I have to know, right? Curiosity always kills the cat, right? It always brings people together, right?
Yeah.
Then secondly is, out of all of them, you made it. So now you're like ready to go. And then they tell you have to quit your job as an elected official and you were like in your mind, done. Hey, yeah, I'm done. So you quit a job, a job, you have 5 kids, you have a family of 5, benefits, retirement, everything. And then they come back and say, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's reality TV. You just got a dose of reality.
Big time, man. Big time. You should have seen my wife's face. Oh man. we got hit with reality, that's for sure. And but you know what? Looking back, best thing that ever happened. Best thing. Just like my mom won that bet on those horses.
Yep.
Man, best thing that ever happened, because one, it allowed me to quit my job so that I could go full time with Washie. If I would never have gone full time with Washie, it would have always been my side hustle. It would never have launched. You know what? Quit the job. And because I was in the paper, it gave me a good head start. All across from Washington to Utah, Idaho, it was in the newspaper and the headline seriously read, elected official quits his job to go on this toilet seat run, something like with toilet seats. And everyone was picking it up. All the newspapers were picking it up. And for some reason, the CEO of Squatty Potty, Squatty Potty, top 5 products on Shark Tank, saw it. And then he invited me down to St. George to meet with him. And that kind of just gave me a really good head start. It was a blessing in disguise that I could go full time with Washie. And then the journey since then, it's just been the ride of my life, man. Been the ride of my life.
Man. Okay, I have to ask this question because I know. Look, anytime you bring this type of knowledge to people, they're always going to be the flip side, right? Well, yeah, well, he's, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Help us understand this point. How did your mindset not take you down that negative self-destruction? Plenty of entrepreneurs, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, right? You could be at work and something doesn't go right and you have a decision to make, right? I can either wallow in misery or I can rise. How did you take us into that Rob Poleki mind and say, how did you stop, or did you, and then pull yourself out of it, right? And not get into that negative self-destruction?
Yeah. Can't remember that hump that I was talking about?
Yeah.
To get over in the beginning. I was about to go back down to the bottom and get another job. I was about to go and say, you know what? I'm just go get another job. and then I'll continue to try to do this as my side hustle. And it was really my wife that pulled me out of that. My wife said, "Listen, it's a good opportunity now just to see how this goes, right?
Hmm.
Let's just take a year." She gave me a year and say, "We got enough money. We have, we have a couple businesses together. She runs. She was a
Hmm.
real estate agent at the time. We have a commercial cleaning company in Southeast Idaho, and that could pay the bills, right?"
Right.
She says, let's take this for the year. Try to do this full time for a year. And so that was what got me out of the hump. I was in that depression state for like 3 weeks when I got the news, and nobody knew but me and my wife. Everybody still thought I was going on Shark Tank. So I was still hiding the fact that
Oh
I was
man.
cut. Everybody was like, "Oh, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to see your episode." And I didn't say nothing. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm still going." I was faking the funk, but at the time, man, I was in a depressed state. I was going to go look for another job. I had opportunities. People loved me in the
Sure.
community, and I could go get another job. But sat down with my wife, and we were like, you know what, give this a shot.
Hmm.
That's what got me over the hump, man. I needed someone else to help me over the hump, and I think a lot of people in my position as entrepreneurs, I get hit up like once or twice a day from entrepreneurs that see my story and just need that little push over
Yeah.
that hump to just to start, bro. Just start. You have these ideas, just start. And that's what got me over the hump is having a partner, my wife, someone that I could count on and to help me over and say, you know what, take a shot.
Woo. Man, that speaking from experience, which you have, right? And let me help everybody understand this. Like you just said something. You already had a commercial cleaning company, and your wife was a real estate. So you already had two businesses, right?
Yeah.
But this was from what I'm understanding, what it comes, how I look perceive it is this Washie business was the first time you were going all in. You said we're all out, we're all in, right? And
Yeah.
and I'm not going to marginalize this anything like if your wife doesn't sell a home or two, it's okay because you have something to fall back on.
Yep.
If the commercial real estate cleaning company, you know what? If it doesn't pick up very well, like you still have something to fall back onto. Once you removed the crutch, my wife and I had this conversation before she was able to quit her job at the beginning of this year was once you remove the crutch, right? Then what are you going to do, right? That's when the leadership, that's when the mindset, that's when everything comes full circus or to the surface. And it's like, now what? You don't have anything to fall back on. So
Yep.
what are you going to do? And you're telling us that you already had, X, Y, and you could have had plan Z, W, X, W, whatever, but you were like, go all out. It's
Yep.
time to remove the crutch and go all out.
Yeah.
Man, that is deep. I mean, look, I had to run with that because I think people, especially from an entrepreneur side, like you keep telling people, just get started. You can say that from a strength of position because you just got started. You needed to push like somebody else needed to push. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. All right. I would love, I mean, Washie is huge. If you guys don't know what it is, look it up. Rob at the end of this is going to give you how you can find them, where you can get a hold of them, but you have to listen to his story, that other side of the story. I mean, I watch, if you want, this is going to be a shout out to Coach V because I watched your interview with him, which was
Okay.
fantastic. A great interview. And I just was like, man, I've got to talk to this guy. He's fantastic. So, all right, as we start to wind up a little bit and wrap up here, let's talk about that balance now, right? The balance between your life as an entrepreneur. Now you run obviously Washie, that life and the balance between that and a dad, right? How do you balance dad life, being a husband, all the other responsibilities? Take us into that. How do you balance that life?
Yeah. So let me go back a little bit when I was an elected official.
Sure.
I had to grow up, man. I had to grow up and become a better father because I was gone all the time. My 6 years as in office, I was just always at work. I was working like my dad. I was always at work, nine to five, or 10 hours a day. I was always gone on conferences with other elected officials, and I was gone a lot and missed a lot of my kids' activities, dance, and even my son's football games, flag football games, and I regret it, man. I needed to grow up and say, you know what? Actually, not grow up. Actually, just become a better father, and
Mhm.
and put them first. The job would always be there. I was doing a great job, with my career, but not the best job with my family. I had put them second. And so what I had learned towards the end is that I was missing out on my kids growing up.
Mhm.
So I made it a priority that during this Washie run that I would schedule my family first. And when I schedule my family first, that meaning that I would not only just show up to their activities, but be a part of their activities, coaching their activities, taking them to the activities and actually staying there and watching them. And that's what kids really need, is
Yeah.
that not just for their parents to put them in activities, but for their parents to be involved and watch them and see them grow. They want that proud kid moment. I'm going to show my dad what I did. So I always scheduled, well, I've begun to schedule my kids first and their activities and my family first, making sure I'm here on the weekends, and if I have to be gone, I'm back by Friday,
Yeah.
not spending weekends out. And so it's been tough, though, to tell you the truth. It's been tough because it's a startup, because I have to focus my time. I have other people's money on the line. I have my own money on the line, my family's future on the line. That balance has been really tough. But the first thing that I've known to do is to schedule my family first. So meaning that when I get my daughter's softball schedule, softball practices and workouts, my son's football schedules, baseball schedule, I put them in before I make any meetings, and I go around their schedules. So having that mentality of I schedule my family first has worked out for us. My wife is happy. I experienced that because she's the taxi, right?
Yep.
She's running them around and also running our commercial cleaning company as well. But we're a busy family, and
Yeah.
they see the grind. I mean, they see me out hustling, and then I'm also making all of their activities and being a part of their lives. So
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this question. When you were younger, did your dad, was he just gone all the time and never, and could he catch your activities, or did he miss a good chunk of your activities?
yeah, I always remember other family members taking me to games, and because he was working, he did make half,
Mhm.
um, but sports weren't the priority back then. You
Yeah.
know, work was. When I was a kid in New Zealand, I was allowed to play rugby, but that was it. After that, not come home, be with the family. You got chores, we got things to do. I gotta, dad's gotta be gone, mom's stay at home mom, you gotta be home.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was allowed to play, sports, and things kind of changed. But yeah, when I was growing up as a kid, sports weren't number one. It's you go to school, come home, and stay home.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've kind of changed, as we progress and as we learn, now, uh, I have my kids in sports, not because I want them to play
Yeah.
professionally, not because I need them as this meal ticket or anything. I want them to not be in trouble, right?
Right.
Always be doing something. There's a good club sports in Utah that I have them involved with, and good kids,
Mhm.
being around kids that are focused on achieving things, always like wanting to gain something or win something. So that mindset, I love that
Mhm.
mindset. So yeah, man, it
Yeah.
wasn't always like that, but it's what we're doing now.
So, the reason I ask this question is because if we look at the evolution, right? You didn't let your upbringing define who you are. You took parts of how you were raised and where you came from and embedded that into your soul, deep down into the makeup of who you are. right? You took that part. The other parts, you were like, nah, we're not going to go down this route. Subconsciously, as you started Washie, you were like, look, I can't do what I did, which was work all the time because, not for nothing against your parents. My parents were the same way, worked a lot, they always working, always in the grind, which was great, hustling for us. And as we got older, that transition was, I'm going to use my brain and my intellect to be the grind. So then I can be a part of my family's life. And I think that transition, I really want people to understand that is just because you saw something when you were a kid doesn't mean that you have to bring it over as an adult. You can use that as a benchmark, but you have the ability to change any circumstance. And that is massively huge, especially, look, we can say we all have dad guilt, right? Because we work a lot. I'm providing, I'm doing what I got to do. It's that it is that dad guilt, right? And this, what you just laid out for us is how when you start scheduling, right, your kids and then your business, I can tell you, right, is going to substantially just increase. And you could probably agree with that as you have probably seen that before, but man, what a way to just understand the business, man. That's fantastic.
Kevin, you hit on something that I want to touch on
Okay.
is a lot of immigrants to this country or a lot of ethnic families, their parents are busting their butts and going out and finding jobs and being gone and working hard so that their kids could one day be a boss, not so that their kids can one day go and work a 9 to 5.
Right.
The immigrant parents are busting their butts so their kid can go get an education and one day be a boss, one day work for a successful company. Their dream is not for them to come here and for their children to, do the same thing as them. So I think that's what a lot of people don't consider is that your parents have come here to work so hard that they want you to level up. They want you not to be like them. They want you to be more successful than more than they could ever have been. And they're giving you the opportunity to do that. A lot of people, it's not like they're purposely doing it and staying in these jobs. And I think it's the mindset that they have to get over that hump. And man, most people that I know that are still stuck in that mindset have the opportunities, have the leadership skills that they could be leading a company or in different positions in a company, but getting over that hump is the biggest obstacle.
Man, wow. We could be done on that last point. that is just, look, that is so profound what you just said, right? Parents' job is to give their kids a better opportunity of life. We pave the way and say, here we go. Your parents did it, my parents did it, and that's what you're doing for your kids, and that's what I'm doing for my kids. One of the best things you will ever hear, and just break it down point by point. That is, man, Rob, thank you for touching on that. That is fantastic. So as we start to close out, give us a little, tell us a little about Washie, right? This is the commercial for Washie. Tell us a little bit about it, how people can reach out and find it, where they can go to see what it is. And then obviously, we can talk a little bit about how they can get a hold of you, but tell us a little bit about Washie and that process.
Yeah. So Washie is a toilet seat that I created that allows the user to sanitize and clean the seat before they sit. We are eliminating paper toilet seat covers forever. So 22% of the time, people use paper toilet seat covers. They're a waste. They're always on the ground. Maintenance hates them, and they're absorbent. So once your body heat hits the paper toilet seat cover, anything on the seat can seep through. So it's been a psychological thing the whole time. So my idea was, like, let's get rid of these paper covers and actually clean and sanitize the seat down. So you wave your hand over a sensor, sanitizing foam comes to the surface, you grab some toilet paper, and you can sanitize the seat, have a fresh, good smelling seat before you sit. So we are in hospitals, stadiums, event centers, airports. And so we're getting out into high traffic venues We launched in Utah and Idaho, but in the next few weeks, we are launching nationwide and even globally. We've got some large strategic partners that are partnering up with us, and things have been going great after COVID. But yeah, you can find us www.washieproducts.com, or a lot of people follow my journey on LinkedIn, so it's just linkedin.com/Poleki, Poleki. But yeah, Washie toilet seat. If you guys want to look it up, it's on YouTube. There's commercials, and if you're interested, just hit me up.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's both. So just so we know, it's both for, is it residential, commercial? Are you small business, large business, or
Yeah. So it's a commercial product, right? It's
Okay.
for public restrooms. We are working on a residential seat with a light and some poopery stuff, some different benefits to it, but currently it's commercial, and we're
Mhm.
looking for high traffic. So where a lot of the public go to, like movie theaters, malls, and stadiums, airports especially, has been our main target. So yeah, high traffic restrooms.
Nice, nice, nice. Oh, Rob, man, I knew this was going to be a fun interview, but man, I didn't think we'd get into just some depth, some really, really depth of this. So I appreciate your time. Lastly, here's a scenario. We'll wrap this up and then we'll go from there. So you're sitting at an ice cream shop, right? And you're approached by someone who says, "Okay, look, you, who would have thought you would have taken a toilet seat to the level that it's at, right?" How do you find, I'm an entrepreneur, I have all these ideas, but I just don't have passion, or I don't have the courage to just go and do it. Give this person, some actual items that they can do to get moving and get into action.
Yeah. I think first you got to ask yourself why you want to do it, right? Why do you want to create a business? Like, why do
Mhm.
you want to become an entrepreneur? Because once you get into it, and once you're all alone, there ain't no 9 to 5 to back you up. It's hard. It's tough. So before you leave your 9 to 5, before you quit, ask yourself why you're quitting, why you want this life. Like, is it the glamorous life? Because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur these days. It's like everybody want to be in the NBA, in the 90s. Now everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and that's great,
Yeah.
but not everyone can be one, right? Everybody, you could go work a 9 to 5 and have a great career, and be a VP of a company, and live your life. But the life of an entrepreneur, you got to ask yourself, is that my life? And if it
Mhm.
is, yes, then the first thing you need to do is get a master's in Google and YouTube. It's free. I
Yep.
have a master's, my bro. Like, everything I did with my first patent was on Google Patents, and everything I needed to learn about the restroom industry, about CAD work, engineering, design, is all on YouTube. All the tutorials that you need. I became this self-made engineer trying to go back and forth with manufacturing and stuff, all from YouTube tutorials. You don't need to use your money and waste your money on going to these school, or you can learn it on YouTube now. It's not that important. If you're going to become an entrepreneur, you don't need a degree,
Yeah.
man. You need to just go and figure it out. So whatever your idea is, whatever your product is, go and learn on Google and YouTube, and just start. Find people that are entrepreneurs and hang out with them. Do what they do, because you're hanging out with the wrong people if you ain't started yet, right? If you're still working the 9 to 5, you're hanging out with everyone that's working the 9 to 5, and you're
Yep.
comfortable in that. If you want to become an entrepreneur, find some entrepreneurs and hang out with them, and go, what are they up to? What are they doing? If you like what you see, you'd start doing it. So those are kind of maybe 3 steps that you can take.
Right. If you guys just didn't get a punch in the mouth from that, I don't know what you guys are thinking, man. That is fantastic, Robert. And it's true. Your LinkedIn is just full of it. And I love following you on LinkedIn. It's so much fun to watch it, man. I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am for this time. I know you got to run. Your time is cut short here, but man, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This is going to be a fun, and I hope people that listen to it pause it multiple times and write down things that you said, because you're speaking the truth, you're speaking from the heart, but you're speaking from an entrepreneur that is just building one business to get to the next business, to get to the next business and have a lot of fun. Before I let you go, I always ask everybody to interview this. 5 books you would recommend anybody to read. What it could be, personal development, business, spiritual, whatever. Just 5, give us 5 good books that we could either read or listen to.
All right, Cameron, this is something that I've never told anyone. So this is the first time right on your show. Cameron, I don't read, man.
No?
I don't read, man. I have a difficult time reading. I think as a kid, I have I'm dyslexic or something. I have never finished a book from cover to cover. My mind is racing too much. And when I read, I'm thinking about something else that I'm not focusing. I do listen to audiobooks, and so one thing about how I've learned over the process, I've watched and listened. So I listened to Gary Vee. Gary Vee, when I need to find business strategy, the funniest things, his books, I've listened, so Crushing It, he's got a new book, 12 and a half, all audiobooks. I've listened to all of them. So Gary Vee for business strategy is huge. If you don't like the swearing, just mimic that out and get that out of there. You just listen to the message. E.T. the hip hop preacher. When I need motivation, E.T. is my guy. He's like a football coach. I love, I'm a sports guy. I need someone to yell at me to get me going. So those 2 guys, I don't have 5 books, but I have those 2 guys who are my go-to guys. That anytime I need advice, anytime I need some motivation, I go to Gary Vee or to E.T. hip hop preacher. Gary Vee is talking about NFTs and crypto, and I've been huge into that and learning about that and investing. E.T. is just, man, you need some motivation, go listen to one of his videos. So that's right.
I follow both of them. I follow both of them. I listened to E.T. his story about, I want to be, I'm gonna be a millionaire. So he talks about the guru, right? Goes out into the water, and the whole water story is fantastic, man. I love it. Dang, Rob, I wish we had another 2-3 hours, man, because we could get a lot done. But hey, I appreciate your time. I especially appreciate that. Right, Gary Vee and E.T. the hip hop preacher, which is they're phenomenal to listen to. Appreciate your day. Appreciate your time, man. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys on another episode of the Arch Study View.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,